They're calling out the players, calling out the fans. I think, Danny, he's trying to paint a picture. Look, if we're not careful here, Arsenal will win it. He says, we have an opponent in Arsenal who have the fire. 2 decades without winning the Premier League. I'm explaining the reality here. It is a kind of wake-up call of sorts, isn't it, off the back of that win?
I thought the majority of the interview was brilliant. I thought it was so refreshing in so many ways. So many times we see managers go out and whine and make excuses and hide behind the reality. And he just said it as he felt it. And some people were talking about whether it was...
They won, so it made it a little bit easier.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
They lost... Or Tottenham.
But he covered that. He covevered that when he talked. He took so many aspects in the game. He was like, "Yeah, we got away with it today. We were lucky. If we carry on like that, we're going to be nowhere near it." So he in effect, he was fuming, even though they won. But some of the things he said, which I completely get, where he was talking about players being comfortable, and he was talking about how he didn't recognise his team, and he just wanted to see his team again. Because sometimes people jump on a line where he says, "I don't care about the Premier League," and what he meant was, I don't care whether we win or not. I just want to see my team play like they can play. And actually, it was a kick up the backside for everyone. And the fans, I make him right.
Those same fans booing at half-time.
But I mean,
short memories, right?
Oh, my God.
Short memories, 4 titles in 5 years. Half-time, 0-2, and they boo them.
And get out of Anfield.
There is okay. There's an element of you could say, well, that's the basis of a plastic fan base, but I think it's a basis of an expectation.
It's not plastic. It's just a spoiled fan base.
Yeah. Well, I was going to couch
Did you say you wouldn't get that at Anfield?
No, you wouldn't.
What's the difference then?
Different supporters, different mindsets. Different way of thinking.
Used to not winning the Premier League for 30 years, perhaps, is conditioned with that mentality.
If it was Liverpool 0 Tottenham 2, you wouldn't be hearing any discerning voice. You wouldn't be booing.
After winning four leagues in 5? No chance. Have you heard them boo Klopp yet? And they're sitting in what, 9th?
So what, Liverpool fans are not entitled, but City fans proved that they are. They do have a sense of entitlement last night.
Well, a section of them, the ones that booed.
I think they have a sense of they're expectant, they're demanding. There is an element of ingratitude, but when you have a football team that is put together with such expense and players played so much money, I think there's a sense of, well, why shouldn't they be entitled? Why shouldn't they demand? It's not what you've done for me; it's about what you're going to do for me next. That, unfortunately, whether you like it or there's too much put about legacy. And too much about what you did in the past, because football lives.
That's important, though.
Football players. No, not really. It's not.
What you've done in the past.
Football players live in the here and now. Football players want to be judged by the circumstances of the individual opportunities that they get in the here and now, except when it doesn't suit them, and then they want to be judged by things that they've done in the past. Right. So they've got to take the responsibility of being in an industry where it's gone stellar, and so fan bases are sitting there going, "Okay, it's wonderful that you've won and you've achieved these things, but now we want to see you continue to achieve it." And if you look at it and say...
But it's also important to remember where you've come from.
Well, yes, but you don't have to sit there with over-sentimentality, curtailing to the fact that your team is not performing because once upon a time they did.
No, but it's also important not to sit there with an arrogant sense of self-entitlement.
Do you think it's arrogant, or do you think it's ultimately, there's a group of players out there that just got beat by Man United...
Well, Danny's saying Liverpool fans wouldn't boo them off last night.
Well, that's Liverpool fans. And there's lots of things about Liverpool fans that I don't think are great as well at times.
Well, I can compare because I played there for so long and I know what they're like. It takes a lot more than that to boo. They haven't lost they've lost one game at home this season, City, before that. How the hell can you be booing them at half time?
No, that's what I think, Danny.
It's bizarre.
I'm with you on that.
But I don't think it's
short
just
memories.
City. I don't think it's just City fans. Complacency with supporters is similar to complacency with players. They get used to seeing them turn over teams week in, week out, so they think they just have to turn up and not help.
And I agree.
And it works both ways.
I agree that there's a sense of, and we're phrasing it and characterising it as entitlement. If you have the best manager in world football with unlimited resources, you are entitled to expect excellence every time you look at it. You pay for it. You sit in those seats. You pay top money to watch these football teams. Why shouldn't fans, within reason, have a degree of expectation that says to them every single... Now, what is more disconcerting for everybody else around the football perimeter is how easily Man City can turn the lights on. How they can decide, actually, no, here we go again.
Yeah.
And how dismantling and disconcerting that must be
Yeah.
for everyone else. Because Man City decided to turn up in the second half and rip Tottenham a new one.
Of course they did.
Just on that,
I'm
is
pinching
there-
myself though. You standing up for City fans.
Well done, Jim. Is there
I am
not?
and I'm not.
Jim,
I'm balancing it.
Simon, would you agree or not that there's also a degree of players and managers should also be able to expect, after providing such brilliant entertainment and success for 4 or 5 years,
Yeah.
they should also be able to expect the supporters to get behind them and create an atmosphere that helps them, after showing them for so long how good they are and what amazing football
But
they've given them.
the fans haven't lost their appetite for City to be successful.
Of course not. That's why they're there.
What Pep is saying is the players have. The players have lost their motivation.
Yes.
They've become... Well, who told them they could do that then? Well, did they look in their pay packet and say, "Oh, I think actually I'm entitled to downgrade it a little bit because I'm feeling a little bit undermotivated because I've been so unsuccessful. Sorry, I've been so successful recently." So you've got to get the balance right between the real world that we want to live in, the football world that they want to live in, and the expectation of fans. The fans have not lost their desire to see their football club win every single game.
I agree with
why
that.
should the players?
Well, last night.
Well, they shouldn't, and he said that's his job to sort that out.
Well,
But
last
I
night at
do
halftime, we did hear boos from the City fans. Danny says if it was Anfield last night, you would not be hearing boos from Liverpool fans.
You wouldn't.
There's a message here. Manchester City fans booing at halftime is incredible. Talk about entitlement. Spoilt. Idiots. I bet the fans who booed weren't fans when they were playing Macclesfield in the third tier. Stop being obtuse, Simon Jordan. You're better than that. Okay, we'll return to that. Did you boo at halftime? If so, why? 03717 223344. You came back one at 4-2, and you have won 4 titles in 5 years. Did you forget that? 81089.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Friday mornings from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.